September the 9th. I've been working on this thing a couple hours. I'm gonna get home from work and stuff. And so I've got a little bit of the sheathing on, as you can see there. And I used plywood this time rather than OSB. OSB didn't last long on my last one, or it wasn't long. That bottom down here on my last one, probably within a few months, it started swelling. And I had it painted up real good and everything, but it's still, as you can see, these windows are good, large windows. I've got that much of the sheathing on, and I've put the sheath, like the little edges, because this right here, I think is 45 inches. Those sheets are 48, so it's going to take a full sheet. So I'll put these small pieces on the edges. Now when I'm done, I've got some edges like this. I've got some trim. I'm gonna rip some decking boards as trim. Put trim on the edges once I get done. So, like I said, I've got all the sheathing on the little small pieces. This is just gonna be one complete piece right here. Can be that's less than 48 inches, so that'll take one piece of sheathing. And these will actually take one piece of sheathing, but I'm gonna cut it in half for the window. Obviously, put the window up and down, or the above and below the window. But it's coming along. September the 9th. The goal was October. Have it in the woods. They opened a week worth of youth season this year, and my daughter hasn't killed one, and my son's wanting a bigger one. He's out there shooting his bow right now, so and it's perfect size for us all. We've been sitting in here. We'll come out here every now and then and sit in here. We've had a buddy heater in here because the buddy heater already will warm it up, even without windows and a door. So I'm pretty excited to get it in the woods. Here we are. This is about 3 weeks in. It's September the 21st. I started on August the 28th. I was hoping to get it in the woods before October, but I had work this weekend unexpectedly, so that put me behind. I just got done today. Today I put the door on, put the locks on the door. Me and my daughter stained the rafters and the window sills, inside the window sills, because it's hard to keep water out of those window sills. So she stained them, as you can see. And I sprayed it. I bought that spray gun. It's over here. This is a spray gun here, and it did pretty good. I mean, for what I paid for it anyway. So I don't see that I'm going to get done before, if I can get it in the woods, the first weekend of October, because I still got to put the metal on the roof. We're going to put the slats up there and then put the metal on the roof. Then I'm going to make a shelf here that goes back about 6 inches, and I'm going to frame it up with treated lumber. That way it might help protect this. Then I've got to put trim on the edges and around the window and make my windows, and then I'm going to paint the inside black with that spray gun. So here's the stuff I've got done today. As I said, I put the door on it. I built the door, put the door on it. Try not to touch it too much because I'd say the paint's still wet. Yeah, it's still wet. But I put this lock on the inside, put a handle in there. You see how the door is. And I might put some seal stuff around it. But here's sort of what it looks like as is right now. These are little shelves in here for drinks and things. And like I said, I first planned on putting the shelves that fold down. That's gonna cover up these shelves if I do that. So I'm gonna put one shelf here, and I'm debating with it being up there, I don't know that that I'll make it folding. I'll just come out about right here. I'll probably just use the shelving board, or not a shelving board, but a decking board. But anyway, once we get the roof on, I'm gonna seal up these cracks, and then we're gonna paint it on the inside. And like I said, that'll be closing on finishing it. But I don't think I'm gonna finish by the 1st of October. Maybe the first weekend of October, but that'll still be ahead of youth season. So that is the main goal. It's September the 23rd, and today, all I've done today, I worked today, so I got home and I used that sprayer again. It's pretty decent sprayer for small jobs. I wouldn't want to use it on a big job, but either that or I'm not thinning the paint good enough. But anyway, I came home and I painted the inside black, and did that on the last one, and it worked out real well. I used I think satin, or flat rather, and let's see, I'll show you the inside now, because now when I get those windows up, I'm gonna paint the frames black, and then I'm gonna put the window tint on it. And so these will just be big dark holes, or they'll just be black all year round. So even when they're open, it'll just look like a big black hole. So here's what I'll walk around with. I'll show you the door, how I made the door as well, and why I did what I did on the door. There's the door. I framed it up, and what I do is the inside of the door was 32 inches. So I think I cut this down the frame to about 31 inches. That gives you a ½ inch on each side for closing, and then I think I did about an inch shy on the length as well, and so that way it closes up real well. Also, when I put I put these corner brackets, and they were real easy to do. You just cut 45-degree angle on each side and put them in there, and I put that brace in the middle. And then when I did the sheathing, I'm trying to touch it without getting paint everywhere. I did the sheathing, I think it's about 3 inches bigger than the actual door. And what I'll do is put a weather strip on the inside, and you can see I've got this foam insulation in there as well. So that foam insulation probably going to help seal. And then I'll put a weather stripping all around the inside there. And when I close it and pull it tight, it should sort of weather seal it up. The only issue I've got is I've got a gap right here, but I'll have to put some weather seal inside of there and seal that up. But anyway, here's what it looks like as of now. Inside looking out, and you can see that black paint does wonders. I mean, it's completely different than the way it looked yesterday with that shiny insulation. I missed a few spots, but it's good enough. Ain't painting for coverage, just painting to darken it out in here, and I believe I did just that. And I almost think I've got white carpet that I should have put the carpet down and let just the overspray fall on it, so it would darken that carpet up some, and it might not reflect light near as bad. But it's one of those things you build and you think of things you might should have done and things. But anyway, look how dark it is in here already. I don't have the windows up with the window tint on it, so when I do that, it'll look real well. So, and look at what a difference it makes. Put those windows up, I'm telling you. I've had deer with those windows I've had like the front window open on my other one and all the other windows closed, and they come pretty much within just a few steps and never see me inside. So I know that'll work. Now, my next step is to build the windows. I'm gonna build the windows, and I'm gonna put some trim up here around the windows, trim on the edges right here on these corners, and then trim around the window, and then the windows, and then I'm gonna make a shelf, like I said, in there on that one. That's the only one I'm gonna do a shelf on. Put carpet down, and she'll be ready to go. Also, the kids are wanting to paint trees or whatever design we decide to go with on the outside. Last time I went with trees. Also, the metal, forgot the metal. Gotta put the metal on. That's the one thing I'm really dreading. But there it is as of September 23rd. All right, here is, let's see, I think it's September the 27th. Now, let me show you what I've done since I last did an update. I ain't worked on it too much. Put some treated wood. These are decking boards right here on the inside of the windows. That's way maybe it'll last longer there. I'm gonna paint all this black as well. But anyway, and you can see I made my little shelf, and that was just a 3/4 inch piece of plywood I had, scrap piece, and I cut it at 10 inches and used it as the lip and the shelf, so it doubles as both. And where I've got it screwed down here, I don't have to have braces. It's pretty sturdy. But anyway, I'll walk around, because when I paint it, you're probably not going to be able to see the shelf good. But anyway, there's the shelf from inside, sort of how it looks right now. There's the windows as they stand right now. Like I said, I'm going to paint them, seal them up, paint them, and then I'll show you what I'm going to do for trim. For trim on the corners and around the windows to cover up this, I'm going to rip that board right there is actually 1 inch, so I'm going to rip 2x4s into at about 3/4 of an inch as trim, and that should be enough to cover these corners here and over the windows, and it should look real nice. I'm going to stain those the same color as this, and it should look real nice. Then all I'll have to do is put the metal roof on, the carpet, and the windows. The windows is my dread, but actually everything from this point out I dread. But there's how it stands as of now. It's taking shape, looking pretty good. And my tractor lifted it the other day, so shouldn't put that much weight on it. Should still lift it. September the 28th, and I'll show you what I did yesterday. I don't think I did a video after I finished up yesterday, but yesterday I put the trim on and stained it. And let me show you a mistake I made. I put the trim on, and then I put the caulk on it right after I put the trim on it, before I stained it. Well, as you can see, that didn't allow any of the stain to get on the wood. So that's a boo-boo on my part, but it is what it is. Anyway, today I put the strips on it for the roof. I put them on, and then I put eye bolts in. These are like 6-inch shank eye bolts into those. I put 4 of them, one on each corner of this 6x6. And that way, if I ever need to hook to it and pull it around, I can. Or when I go to anchor it down, I'm going to take a roof bolt, a mining roof bolt, hammer through those so secure it to the ground. Also, when I go to take it on in the woods, when I lift it with my forks, the the furthest end of it will want to dip like that where there's so much weight on it. So I'm gonna hook some ratchet straps up to that side and that side and sort of pull it back up, level it out some. So here's there's the insulation that goes on the roof. I took it off to put those strips up. Let's walk around and I'll show you. Also today I put caulk around the window sills and on the inside, so that way if water sits here it don't drain down in behind the sheathing. But anyway, I also put a little bit of weather strip stuff up here and on the inside. Let's see, right there on the back side of the door. But anyway, where this is 3/4 inch taller than the sheathing on the shooting house, I took some of the board and I put it all around the edges of the sheathing. That way that when I put the roof on it, this board is going to go right up to the metal, and then I can just put some spray foam in there and sort of seal it up real well, rather than have a 3/4 inch gap that I'm gonna have to seal all the way around. You can see I put a board there all the way around the front, as well as these boards that the roof is going to screw into. So also on the back side, I put a little latch there as well. That's to lock it while we're inside of it. This is what I use to lock it while we're outside, or on the outside. Before I had that little gap, I had a good gap right here on the back side of the door. So what I did is I took one of those little pieces of trim, cut out a place for my hinges, and pushed it right up against the door. Now the door won't swing all the way open. It'll swing to about right there, it'll swing to right there and then it'll catch. But that's plenty enough for us to get in. It just won't swing all the way open to this side. So that's some problems I've came up with, and so now I still have to put the metal. The roof is ready for the metal. The carpet needs to go in it. I'm also going to put some carpet on this shelf right here, so quieten that down. Put a lot of noise to it. And then let's see, carpet, metal, and paint the trees on it. We're going to paint trees on all of it, sort of camouflage it in. But it's coming together and looking pretty good. Next week is when I want to have it in the woods. It's September 28th, and I started on August 28th. That's when I first got the platform started. So hopefully we'll be able to hunt in it by youth season.